Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Max AC channel. For this month, since we are once again in the Lenten season this year, we will be doing our 4th round of Meatless March, where we will be making 5 more recipes that are as delicious as they are meatless. For this episode, we will be making some hot cross buns. For this recipe, you will need 3.5 to 4 cups or 500 grams of flour, 1/2 to 3/4 cup of milk, 1 package or 2 1/4 teaspoon of yeast, and 1 teaspoon of sugar and 1/2 cup of lukewarm water to activate the yeast. You will also need 1 to 2 oranges, both for the juice and zest, 1 cup of raisins, 1/4 cup or 1/2 a stick of butter, 1/3 cup of honey, 2 eggs, 3 to 4 teaspoons of spices, such as cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice. And you will also need a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Then for the crosses, you will need 2 tablespoons of flour, 2 to 3 tablespoons of water, and 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then if you wish to add a glaze, you will need 1 tablespoon of milk and 1 teaspoon of honey, or you can use the excess orange juice from before, or 1 tablespoon of apricot jam and 2 teaspoons of water. This should be good enough for about 12 buns, so just as needed. First, we'll see if our yeast is active, so in a bowl, add in your yeast along with 1 teaspoon of sugar and 1/2 cup of lukewarm water, and gently stir this until everything is dissolved. Then, let the yeast activate for about 10 to 15 minutes until it looks frothy and foamy. While we wait for that, zest your oranges before squeezing their juice into another bowl, and then place your raisins in the juice and let them soften and absorb some of the orange flavor. Then when you need them, just strain the raisins from the juice, reserving the orange juice in the fridge for later if needed. Then mix the strained raisins with the orange zest from earlier. Also during this time, melt some butter in the microwave and set this aside to cool. While we wait for these, we'll be using the tanzang method to make these buns super soft and fluffy. So in a saucepan, warm up your 1/2 cup of milk, and then add in 2 to 3 tablespoons of flour to this, and whisk this until it's completely smooth with no lumps. Heat this over medium heat while constantly whisking for a few minutes until the flour-milk mix starts to thicken. So keep whisking this until you have a thick paste, and then remove it from the heat and set this aside to cool. Then, once your yeast has bloomed, to a large mixing bowl, add in the activated yeast, honey, eggs, melted butter, tanzang, spices, and salt, and give this a quick mix before adding in the rest of the 3.5 cups of flour until it forms a shaggy dough. Then onto a clean, lightly dusted work surface, knead this by hand for 10 to 15 minutes until it becomes smooth and passes the window pane test. Then place the dough back into the bowl, cover this with a damp towel, and let this rise for an hour or so until it doubles in size. Then once your dough has proofed, we'll be adding in the raisins at this time, so punch it down and then take the proof dough out of the bowl and place it onto a lightly floured work surface once again. Then, using your hands, stretch out the dough until it's about 2 feet wide and fairly evenly thin. Then, take the raisin and orange zest mixture and evenly spread about 2/3 of it over the middle of the dough. Then, fold 1/3 of the dough over the middle on both sides so that they cover the raisins and create an even layer. Then, sprinkle the remaining 1/3 of the raisins on top of the folded dough, and then roll the dough to fold the raisins into the dough, and then shape it to form a ball. Then place the dough back into the mixing bowl, and then cover this again and let the dough proof for another couple of hours or overnight in the fridge. Then when you're ready to shape your buns, first line a 9 by 13 inch pan with some parchment paper. Then for the dough, punch it down to deflate it, and then dust your work surface again with some flour. Place the dough and then shape it into a log and cut it into 12 equal pieces. Then shape each one into a ball using your hands until it forms a nice smooth surface, and then place the ball seam side down onto the prepared baking pan in a 3x4 arrangement, leaving some room in between. Cover this and let this rest, and while we wait, preheat the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we'll prepare the cross mixture. So in a small bowl, mix together the 2 tablespoons of flour, 2 tablespoons of water, and 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract into a thick, slightly runny paste. Then transfer this to a piping bag or small bag and snip a small hole on the corner and then pipe crosses onto the buns. If your mix is too thin like mine, it might not show in the final product as well, but if not, you can always add some icing crossings after they're done. Once your oven is done preheating, place the buns in and let them bake for 15 minutes or so. And while this is happening, in a saucepan, warm up your glaze of choice over low heat, and once your buns are ready, brush each bun with the glaze. Then return the buns to the oven and bake these for an additional 5 to 10 minutes or until the buns are nicely browned on top and cooked through. Let these cool for at least 10 minutes before serving them warm. Top them now with the icing crosses if desired, and with that, your hot cross buns are ready to eat. For this last Meatless March recipe this go around, since this week is Holy Week, and since we usually do a bread recipe during this time as well, I thought we could do a recipe on this traditional bread. Hot cross buns are traditionally eaten on Good Friday to mark the end of Lent, and the different elements of the buns are also meant to represent a specific meaning, such as a cross representing the crucifixion of Jesus, and the spices inside signifying the spices used to embalm him. One thing I love doing when cooking is learning new tricks to make things taste even better, even when you make mistakes. With my bread recipes, I always like to use each time to learn different baking processes. Last time we tried out the tongzong method, and I think it helps a lot to make super fluffy buns. And so with this recipe, I wanted to try out using the lamination process, which is used so that the raisins become evenly distributed between the entire bun. And I think it did help a lot, so I'll probably do this technique again. Though I do think I need to get better at rolling the buns into balls, since they kind of fell apart because I didn't completely seal the edges correctly, and it also kind of made the crosses disappear on most of them. Traditionally, the cross is made using the dough method I showed in this recipe, but if you're like me and your crosses didn't show up too well, you are more than welcome to mix together some icing and paint on the crosses as well for some extra sweetness on top. And you are more than welcome to adjust the spices and mix-ins to your liking as well, such as making your buns more savory, as opposed to the more traditional spiced raisin-filled bread version. As for any leftovers, these buns store well in any airtight container and should last for about a week or so in the fridge or longer in the freezer. Then, if you wish to reheat them, just place them in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 5 to 10 minutes, or until they're warmed and baked through. But regardless of if you enjoyed this hot or cold, this spiced bun will be a great way to celebrate the end of Lent or any special time of the year. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. In the comments below, let me know how it went if you decided to make it. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything you want to make next. Like this video, share with your friends and family, and subscribe to or follow this channel for more episodes of the Max AC channel. And remember, if you want to stay cool in the kitchen, turn your AC to the max and watch the Max AC channel. This should be good enough for about 12 buns.